right now. And there we are. We are up and running. Hi, sweetheart. What was I just gonna do? Colored paper? I'm pretty sure I use colored paper. I mean, for what? I mean, of course I use colored paper. I'm confused. But the show has started, so hop on and tell me what you mean, and I'll figure out the right answer. Okay, bye. Oh, good grief. Good grief, girl. Oh. Okay. Oh, okay. Whoops. You know, Malik, I am not a great business person. Ha! Come to my window, crawl inside, wait by the light of the moon. Huh, okay, we do not need that. How many minutes have I got? 3 minutes. 3 minutes, Malik. Oh, good Lord. Oh. Hi, sweetheart. Hi, sweetheart. What you want? Oh. I really wish I didn't want new toys. All right, let's get to the show, shall we? We might even be late for our own show. Oh my goodness, there's Peeps here. Hello, Peeps. Oh, okay. Well, hello, Diane. And for whenever you fall asleep, good night. Sleep well. I do want new toys. So I have my gel pen for making white lines and dots, and I lost it. Technically, I suppose it's not actually lost because my sketching stuff travels with me from room to room, and I mean, I forgot to put it in the box, so it's not with me. So I thought, well, I just need 2 sets of everything. Then it won't matter, right? And then I thought, well, some of my liners are running out of ink anyway. They are like 3 and more years old. 3 and 5 or 3 and 6 years old or something. So I was thinking maybe I'll just get a new whole set of stuff. And then I discovered that Micron comes in gray. And now I kind of want a 3rd color because gray would kind of be fabulous. Hello, Darcy. Hello, Patty. Hello, Diane. Hello, other peeps. Hello, Marguerite. Go buy 6 at a time. Yeah, exactly. I might have to buy a black set and a gray set and a sepia set and a new colored set. And I definitely need some new kneadable erasers. And then I need 2 of everything so I can keep it in my studio and in my bedroom for days when I can't, when I need to be in there resting. That's when I do a lot of sketching. So I need a whole separate set in there so I don't lose stuff. Oh, and some more gel pens. So, yeah, I have quite the shopping list. This one, Uniball. I have the pink one because I don't use it that much, but the white one, of course. Hey, Darcy, take a look. Do you know what this is? I bet you do. And this is a test batch, so don't judge the ripped up paper. There's another one. And another one. Hello, Leslie. British Columbia. Marguerite, I know we've only met a couple of times. I think I've only said hi to you once before specifically. I just want you to know that I don't want you to feel I'm being over personal when I move into your house, but that might happen. Yep. I might move to British Columbia. So, did you guess, Darcy? Yes, it is confetti paper. This is my new batch. And actually, Leslie is the reason I can make this new batch this January. And it has taken this many weeks just to get to starting my bits. But I've done a test batch of confetti paper this is the yellow onion. And it turns out orange and pink and yellow. And there's even some gray in there. And that is strictly yellow onion. And then this is strictly red onion. I just love confetti paper. I think it's the coolest. And then I tested some other stuff, peeps. Look at here is clearly a design that doesn't come through. It's too fine of a design. Oh, okay. Well, here's the one I did I do these on racks. So this is just tea dyed, lightly tea dyed. You can probably tell it's pretty light because, the look of it. But, wow, how did this happen? Guys, hold on a second. I gotta switch. Oh, I know why. I'm looking at YouTube instead of OBS. There we are. I couldn't see what the heck I was doing. And you know what else? We can get rid of this. We are officially started with Me Wednesday. This one is, oh gosh, can you see? This one has lines in it anyway. I do it on drying racks. so it comes out with very faint lines in it, but when you want to back something with something that's writable, gosh, it's handy. Handy. That is definitely a one that didn't go through. I tried to see how many layers I could pile on top of the paper and still get a print from a doily sort of thing. You can kind of see in there. There's one I did with a carpet grid. I like the carpet grid one. Oh, there's one that turned out really good. This one always turns out good though. So this was a test batch to get back in the swing of things, right? But confetti paper is on its way. Since I have trouble leaving my house very often, I send Leslie out shopping. And she went to the store, even more than one, I think. And she went raiding all the onion bins and got a bunch of red and yellow onion skins for me. I love that. It's quite the funny shopping assignment, I'll tell you. There's another one. These are very lightly dyed, but I think I like it. I don't like when they turn out way too dark. You know? Although those can be handy sometimes. Alright, I just thought I'd show you that confetti paper has returned because I think I am legitimately out of the last year's batch. Oh, yikes. So I will be making tons. Oh, all right. Let me pull my chair up a little. Okay, there we go. Okay, so shall we get a drawing like right away, or should we give people like a minute or two? I guess it's been 6 minutes already. I suppose we can just get back. How are you feeling now? I know you rested after work, but I'm still a little worried you're going too quick, Darcy. Of course, I'm not one to talk. I always do more than I'm supposed to, too. Or I always do more than I'm supposed to. I just worry about other people more than me. It's just what I do. I think it's what a lot of us do, isn't it? In fact, Dawn, I don't know if you remember saying this to me, but one day I was being kind of a smart aleck in one of your videos when I commented and I said, I know this is a bit off topic, but I really want your sweater. And you said to me, what's your size? I'll send it to you. I 100% believe you would do that. 100% believe you, that you would mail me your own sweater. Fortunately for your back, we are nowhere near the same size. Oh, too funny. All right, yeah, let's get going. So today we're going to do a few things, and I'll get into what's different for people who are just sketching on whatever they want, and for other people who are going to follow along and do the kind of accordion book idea thing. There's only minor differences. Other than that, I'm just going to do all the same art pieces and that. You're just waiting to hear. Oh, that's so funny. Yep. Leslie, you tried to type too fast. Okay, I'm just making fun of her. She knows that. I'm not being offensive to Leslie, but I know how hard typing is for her, and that's how hello ended up that way, and Marguerite, too. Marguerite, don't be offended. Okay, so things first. Super, super easy scroll vine is what we're going to do. And you're going to grab your pencil first, because there are options here that I want everybody to think about before you put everything in pen. Because remember last week I just wanted to kind of get in the flow of things, remember how we do things, and then talk a little bit about individual style. And the style that you pick is something that you might want to repeat through this little series thing. Yeah. Anyway, so here we go. This is all we're going to do. This little vine doodle starts with kind of a shepherd's hook. So if this is your ground floor, wherever you choose to start, right? You're going to go up and then out a little and hook. And your hook is however much you want. You guys know me, I do a pretty dramatic hook, but this is up and around. That's also completely legitimate. And I also curvy more than this one. See, this one went straight up and then kind of, this is a tighter angle than this one. And you could even swoopier if you want. I a lot of times go pretty darn swoopy. So think about what swoopiness goes with your style. Okay, so once you have your shepherd's hook kind of thing going on, you go up from there, out and hook, and then you keep going a little bit and then come back to make a circle or a teardrop. Doesn't matter. If you have a preference, you can do that. Oh, look at that. That's kind of a fun one. That's kind of industrial-ish, or, you know, techie or something. I'm not sure what I think that is, but it's definitely not my swoopy. Not since I am old. Oh, you'll be 70 soon. How soon? Like you have a birthday coming up? Okay, I'm going to try another one. That's probably about perfect for me and my style right there. Lamppost. Yeah, that definitely looks more like a lamppost for sure. Oh. Oh. Patty, that totally threw me because I forgot I can't hear you either. And as soon as I read your sentence, I went, wait a minute. Let's fix it. Of course I can't hear you. Oh my gosh, I fell for it. I completely fell for it. I mean, I can't hear any of you. I can't imagine what's wrong. Oh, good grief. What did you miss? Oh, end of February. Okay. Well, we will have to have a little birthday party, Marguerite. We'll have a little birthday party. I can't believe that my brain caved that easy. You can't hear me. Oh no! I wonder what's wrong. Oh my gosh. Okay, back to work. So we get this shepherd's hook or this super swirl or the scroll or the lamppost. Pick your style, circle, or a teardrop at the end of it, right? So if you've practiced this a couple of times, you can get a good feel for like what you like feels to your hand. And you might want to do that this evening, like right now, like I am, or on your own some other time, because we're going to be using this scroll thing quite a bit. I'm going to flip my page over and show you what we're going to do with it. Like the next step once you've got your hand to kind of understand what you want it to do and figured out what kind of style you want. So, here's the thing that drives my hands and my brain nuts. Once you learn how to do it the way you want it, then you got to try to learn how to do it backwards. That sometimes, okay, true confession, right? Here's the thing. I just did these two really fast, and I'm actually fairly happy with both of them, although the foot on this one is ridiculous looking. But sometimes when I have to switch directions, even in the middle of like a long chain of them, I have to stop and think about which direction to head. Oh, yeah, pasta would be tricky. It's good. Go on. Okay. Okay, so anyway, I'm just owning that the direction thing can be tricky for at least my brain and my hands. So if that happens to you, don't overstress it, because it's just a thing, right? So we're going to be doing this and chaining this thing together. So here's how you do that. Ignore this. Ignore those. Let's say I started here, right? And here's my first one. The next one is going to go the opposite direction. So if this one curved off this way, the next one's going to curve off this way, and it's going to jump right off of here. So I'm going to go near to this start of this last curve, and I'm going to follow it a little bit and then jump off and make my shepherd's hook in the other direction. There is really a much easier way to do this. Much easier. And I'm going to show it to you right now. The reason I showed you this is because this is kind of an element. This shepherd's hook and little teardrop at the end is an element that's going to really play a role in some stuff. If you want to do this a little bit different, and by the way, have the option to put your hooks wherever you want them, here's the other thing you can do. Draw yourself a curvy line, and then inside a curve, follow the curve, jump off, and make a hook. And I'm not as good at this. It is easier, but it just doesn't flow well for me. But you can totally do this. If this works better for you, this is an easier way to get this particular element in place, because you have complete control over your S curve or your S vine thing. And you have complete control over placement of the hooks. Okay, I'm going to get rid of that piece of paper too. We're going to start over again. At least I am. So, I'm going to break this in 4 pieces and show you some options on how to do this and what we're going to do with it. And things that you can play with while we practice this for a couple of minutes. So, at one point in our project, we're going to have this vine go up one side of a tile and across the tile. So one of the things you'll want to figure out, if you do this with just making the S curve, right? How do you end up in the corner so that it cleanly goes around the corner? So obviously that doesn't. It ends in the corner. So I curved this way first. I could just change the size of my curves to fix that, but I'm actually going to change the way I start instead, and I'm going to curve the other way. so that this goes cleanly around a corner. So you'll want to practice that, right? And then if the shepherd's hook design thing works better for you than this does, then you're going to want to, what? I don't remember, so I'm going to give it a try. Well, that was lousy. Oh, my brain is getting away from me already. So if I do that, yeah, I think I did it right here. So now I can take a super curvy one and go right around the corner like so. So this works both ways. And then, yeah, there we go. When we go to our tiles to do this particular design, remember that you keep your pencil as light as you need it to see it, and don't worry if your curves and hooks and little teardrops or circles, don't worry if they don't look perfect, because when you put things in with pen, you can make your adjustments. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So don't worry about the pencil marks too much. Just, you know, get in place what you want. So I'm going to do a couple more of these so I can show you. Well, that was not great. That's also not great at all. Goodness sakes, man. Do it both ways again. Okay, so here is what I want to show you for this particular design. It's the shepherd's hook that's tricky for me anyway. So the rest is easy peasy lemon squeezy, and this is all about style. So things that we can do with this. In an example that I did for myself once upon a time, you can add swirly viney bits. Totally nothing fancy, right? And I could go around and do that to all of the sections where the little circle comes. Keep it as easy as that. You could add leaves. Any size, any shape, of course. Long pointy ones or little tiny skinny ones or any kind of leaf. And then sometimes I'll just add a circle and color this in. Of course, you wouldn't color this in with the pencil. You would do it in your liner pen or whatever coloring agent you decide to get. But this ends up looking pretty fancy, right? When you add all these leaves in, and you can add more than one, and you can go other directions, like so. Maybe you just want to add more viney bits. And you can just go around doing this. It would be better if my viney is connected. Apparently my garden is already falling apart. I should take care of it better. Maybe you just want it that simple. What if, though? What if you want to get super fancy? You can get so fancy. So I am certain that some of you already have other ideas of your own, but you can add a hanging off leaf bundle. And And then a bunch of circles. Like maybe this is some kind of weird, whimsical bunch of grapes. And if you want to, you can color that in and all the spaces in between. And you could aura your grapes if you wanted. Remember, aura is when you just go closely around a previous line. So I could aura my grape bunches. And then I could put little teardrops on the inside of my teardrops if I wanted. And then I could... Excuse me, we just have a passerby. Keep going, Mr. Malik. And then what? Oh, we can aura this thing too. We can do a swoop off our swoop that comes back and makes our swoop a thicker kind of vine. I should do that on a bigger one so you can see what the heck I just did, because that's pretty tiny. So if I wanted to aura this right here, I just go under to the bottom side close to the stem of the hook, right? I'm going to start right there, and I'm going to aura all the way to the stem. So now it's just a more substantial thing. If I wanted it even more than that, goodness sakes, you could go like the other direction, right? You could start on the stem and follow the circle all the way around back to the vine. That's a lot of options that I'm showing you. No way do you have to learn all these. That's not what I'm trying to say here today. I'm just going back to the whole choose your style thing. Excuse me, sir. Move it. Oh, goodness sakes. Sorry. He's an interloper. So no, we're not going to learn all of this. The idea is for you to choose one way of making this and slightly or all the way to the max, embellishing it. This is going to be a major element in my little book, though. So if you're making the book with me, you might not want to do too much. He is a sweet kitty. Hi, Crafting Whimsy. Well, hello, Lisa. Goodness sakes. It's been a while, Lisa. I'm glad you're here. Okay. So, I think for mine, I'm just going to go super easy. And I think I want to go maybe a little flat. No, not flat. Little fat leaves. So if that's true, then I would start with my shepherd's hook and make my teardrop ending, because those are my favorite. Okay. Well, that one's not great. And that one's not hooked enough. I'm forgetting to do something that I tell you guys all the time to do, and I'm not doing it now. Turn your paper if things are awkward for you. These are much easier for me to make either up or down. When I shifted around this corner right here, I should have turned this so I could see what I'm doing properly. That's how I ended up with this completely wonky one. But I think when I get to my tile tonight, this is the kind of design I'm gonna do. Is just a little simple flourish like that maybe, and then oh, I have leaf envy. Patty, I loved those wonky wiggle leaves you did, but I can't do them well enough. I think I will just make little heart leaves, or almost heart leaves. Hey, mister, come on, buddy. Just sit on one side or the other, Pumpkin. I know. I'm not being mean, I swear. Honey bunch. So I think this is what I'm going to do on mine. I was thinking about what if you did, like I showed you Darcy's patchwork thing. What if you did, what if you wanted your garden or your accordion book to end up kind of like that patchworky country kind of feel, right? And what if you put little patches in these? Like you could make them extra fat. I'll erase this one because I don't like it anyway. It's ugly. But what if you made it an extra fat one? And put a little patch in it. You could do that, right? Actually, thanks to the discussions we had last time, I'm probably going to end up making a lot of this particular garden because we talked about what if you did one in black and white and only one color, and I really want to do that. And I think I might want to do one in a patchwork garden, and I thought of all kinds of other stuff. Lame. I can't make a decision to save my life. All right, so that is pattern number 1 for tonight, and I'm going to show you pattern number 2, and then we can move on to our tile. And this is a black-eyed Susan or a brown-eyed Susan or whatever, basically. And this too has some, let's see, well, it has quite a few variations that you'll want to think about for your particular garden. So, start with kind of a large fat rainbow arch upside down U. Oh, one of those. I would make black and white with pink. In fact, here, I would make black and white with this particular pink. And this is how much I've thought about I have to do this because I want a black and white one with this pink. And I'll show you how to do this flower with this pink. Wait. At the bottom of your upside down U, you're going to make some little flicks. So when you pencil this in, you don't need this part, right? You're better off just doing this little fuzzy part with your marker, with your liner pen. The next part is the petals. So there's a bunch of different ways to make petals, right? And I'm just going to make floppy fat petals because that's my favorite. But this is the exact pen I would use for black and white and pink because I have already thought about this extensively. And for shading, I have a burgundy charcoal pencil. Oh my goodness. Okay. I forgot that I'm supposed to be showing how to do this. So for your second petal, ignore that I already did that one. Follow, like, go to the center of the bottom of your petal and then just scoot around till you're, oh my goodness. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. A little bit down to the side anyway. Put your pen down and then you're going to jump off, curve, and come back. But you're going to come back fairly close to the last, to where the other petal started. Cut this bit in half right here. This little space that you have left in your flower, cut it in half, and that's where you're heading back to. Like so. then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to come over to the side again. Basically what I'm doing when I go over to the side is I'm looking for where I feel like the curve of the top of the flower ends, and I am officially on the side of the flower. That is completely subjective. So wherever you feel like the end of the top is and the beginning of the side is, that's where you want to put your pen and start your petal. That's ridiculous, but I think you guys know what I mean. If you give it a try a few times, you'll see that there is a place where that's what it feels like. So over on this side, I'll do the last petal, and I'm going to do the same thing. If this is the tippy top of my petal, this is clearly the side of the petal. I'm going to go somewhere right here-ish, where I feel like the top ends and the side begins. Not exactly a scientific metric. It looks like a butt? What looks like a butt? See, won't that look really cool? No, we didn't just do our first tile. You are silly. I'm sorry, Patty. I did say it, though. I did say we were practicing first. I did. I'm sorry. Oh, well, you know, that'll happen. Kids and all that. For me, it's cats and all that. Okay, so there is my brown-eyed Susan. Only, you know, it's a black-eyed Pinky. Maybe this is Fiona. A black-eyed Fiona. I'm going to do another one. And I did not mean to make a circle, but you totally could. What if you did a circle-y kind of top instead of a U kind of top? So now instead of an upside-down U, I have a sideways C. Yeah, why not? Again, same thing. Once this is done in ink, this will have little raggedy bits right here. And let's do, just for funsies, I'll do a blue one. What if you did longer, thinner petals? Totally doable again. I wonder though if you'd want to fit more in. Let's just try the 5 and see if that works. I'm doing the same thing, just finding where I think is reasonable. Jump off and split that little leftover bit right there in half. When we do this on tiles, whoops, look at, I went fat again. I always do. Yeah, I think you would want to squeeze in more. I'm going to try a long skinny petal again. I'll go to an even taller upside down U, because that's kind of funny. We'll have the same thingy jobbers, and let's do what? You can't see my yellow pen very well, so we're not going to do yellow. Let's do a purple one. So this time I'm going to try something. I'm going to try a long, narrow leaf, really long apparently. And then I said to take this little section and split it in half for the next petals. But what if I split it in thirds? Which I know it's harder, but I'm going to give it a college try and say maybe a third is about there and there. So then when I jump off, I'm just going to keep my eye on that spot and go back to that spot. Here's the other spot, and then the next one will go straight to that finish point. Whoops. Like so. Then I'll mark little spots over on this one. give this a try. Is this I don't think this is enough petals either. I think if you go skinny, you gotta squeeze in a bunch of petals. Don't you? Maybe that works. Do it on the other side too. One squished in petal and one only, you can see part of it petal. That's better. Okay. So I have bulby fat petals, long skinny petals, only a few long skinny petals, and I'm gonna do one more just to show another variety. And then we'll move on to details and be done. We'll move on to the for real card. I'll do this color pink. We'll see if this shows up on my paper. And I will do this one in my pen because there's some things I want to show you. So if I have my upside down U and my little feathery bits in there, what if I made the seed kind of pointy petals? Again, totally doable. But then you're going to put this little thing in here so that you can see that there's a point down at the other end too. And you're going to jump off of your underneath petal a lot sooner. Or I mean a lot deeper. A lot more this way than you would have before. Like so. Same here. Make sure that you do this little tiny bit that goes up to show the point on this end too. And that makes a big difference just in it. It's a tiny little bit, but it makes a big difference in design to just have that little piece. You can do this the opposite way too. You can follow the curve up and then join it if that works better for you. Sometimes I do that. So I'll show that way again. I'm going to put the little V on the bottom and then I'm going to follow this curve. These gel pens are really goopy. I'm going to follow this curve like so. And then find my jump off point and meet them. Meet it. Go as far away or as close as you want to too. Look at this one's way farther away. So then this one's probably going to meet a lot lower. I'm okay with that. If I wanted to, which I usually don't, but just for demonstration purposes, you could stick another petal there. And then maybe that makes the other petals jealous and they all want friends too. So maybe you stick in a bunch more petals. Totally up to you. Here's the next variation of stuff I want to show you, and think about things like squiggles and patches and lines or no lines, full lines or partial lines, blah, 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 right? So for me, I like to thicken the bottoms, and when it goes into a fuzzy kind of flower topper, I need to be a little careful because I don't want to obliterate the fuzziness, if you know what I'm saying. And then I like to do that in all of the things that look a little pointy. So I'll just add a little thickness to these places where the petals meet so that all the curvy bits are extra curvy, like so. Sometimes I do that outside the flower too. I guess I will just to show you. Sometimes I'll fill in these bits also. I know this now doesn't look anything like an actual flower, being how it's metallic and pink and has outside curves as well, but I like the effect. So those are some things you can do to your petals, and it works on all of these. And then you can do some inside lines if you want them. Turn your paper, not your hand. I'm not following my own rules that I made for myself. I probably should. You could do, oh, this is a good one. This super thin one is a good one for either doing this or that to indicate a folded over edge. I don't think that's right. I'll think about it. But you can definitely fill in the tops of these. Maybe make some dots down the middle. That's another thing that you can do. Let's turn this one. Well, okay, wait. I was going to turn this one into the patchy one. But if I'm going to patch this, I don't want to patch it in blue. Let's put a green patch on a blue flower. Maybe. How about if we put a green polka dot patch on a green flower? And then I think I'm just going to skip this one. Nope, I'm not. I lied. Sorry, I didn't mean to lie. It was an accident. What if I just took and made some swirlies up the center? All totally acceptable things, and I bet you guys have more ideas than I do, and I can't wait to see what you guys do, because you guys always have way better ideas than I do. Okay, next thing to think about with this one, the center of your thingy, the top of your Susan's hat. So one of the things that's good in this kind of topper for a flower is just simply polka dots. So if I put in the little flicks across the bottom and I use my pen to get the upside down U looking good, I can just put a bunch of dots in here. And then when I go do my shading, I can shade it in a light color, a different color, or just some light graphite from my pencil. And those dots will show up really well. The thing I particularly like to do is okay, wait, let's get I'm jumping ahead of myself. Let's get the hat frame. This is Susan's hat. Or if this is Fiona, this must be Margaret. This must be Betty. And then this one must be, I don't know who this one is. She's a stranger. She wants to join the group. She certainly can. We're all inclusive. Okay. I didn't like my circle and that ended up way too fat. If this doesn't work, I'll show you again. My favorite thing to do in this particular flower topper is I'll do my lines for a hash mark in one direction, and then turn my paper and do the other direction only part way across. So I'll go over to this side and just do the edge, and then come on the other side and just do the edge. I try to vary the length, but I usually end up adjusting till everything's completely even. It's just what I do. Yep, there I go again. Okay, let's just stop, lady. Okay. I think that shows up okay. You get the idea, right? You could also, what else could you do? You could fill it with swirls. What if you filled it with swirls? Why not? What if you filled it with circles? And then colored in all the spaces between the circles. You could do that too. Last piece. I think I already said last piece, and I think I lied because this flower has no stem. Think about what you want for stems for this flower and leaves. So you can totally go really fat. That's not really fat. You could totally go really fat. You could do a stalk, right? What kind of leaves would there be on a stalk, though? I'm not sure. Maybe there's those super tall, skinny kind. Excuse me. Oh, goodness sakes. What do you think this is? The cat highway? I'm sorry for the cat highway. Stop. Lady. No. Stop, lady. You could go super skinny. And then what if you went super skinny and then did like just some silly little leaves off the side. Even I've seen people do this. So if we did fairly thin, or extremely thin for me, and then just do little pearls down the side. Okay, hope I sparked some ideas. I make this shape leaf way too often, so I don't think I'm going to use that, but that's what I always do. Okay, that's it. I think we're done with practice session for sure. That was probably more than y'all wanted. I hope you're still with me, because it's time to move on to our tiles. And if you're doing the tiles with me, then I need you to take out your first 5. Remember, we talked about this, and you need 10. Is that 1? Wow. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't get all the... I've washed my hands so many times. I'm sorry for the appearance of my hands. I was doing gel printing today, and as many times as I washed my hands, I am still a ton of different colors. Okay. So if you're doing the accordion book, you want your first 5 tiles. I will not move on until I see that everyone is ready. You need your 5 tiles out, you need your pencil, and then on the back of your tile, number them 1 to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I got my 5 tiles. Good girl. Way to go. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, Patty is ready. Who else is ready? Anybody? What's a badminton bird? Whoa. No skinny butts here. No. Very natural flyaway hair. The skinny one doesn't look like a butt. Well, I'm glad. I want them to have their own personality. Okay. Patty, I think you're it. Oh, they are called birdies, but oh my gosh, what a dork I am. Of course they are. I was thinking, oh, never mind. I was thinking it was an art thing. Like there was a kind of birdie that I don't know. I thought it was something I could learn to draw. You'll be drawing later. Oh, all right. That is excellent, Lisa. Yeah, we won't need all 10 for a little bit, so you're good. And I know Darcy, I know you were going to do it later. I'm sure other people are too. I just don't want to get too far ahead of you guys. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them from the cheapy stores like Temu and AliExpress, or you can just cut out your own. I do 4-inch by 4-inch squares, and I buy them if I can find them really cheap. I cut out my own if I have a lot of paper. It honestly doesn't matter one single bit. Not one bit. Patty, I'll be writing a report home to your boys, and they can deal with your behavior. Okay. So this is why we have all 5 out, and this is why we have them numbered. We're going to start on number 5. We're going to start with the vine that we practiced first and in your style, so you're certainly not going to copy me. Remember a couple of things when I show you what we're going to do. Remember that your lines only need to be dark enough for you to see, and then I make mine darker so that you can see them on screen. And then remember that you're doing your style, not mine, so don't necessarily completely copy, right? And then turn your tile instead of your hand, and it will all work better. So here's what we're doing. I gotta see if I remember. Yeah, I remember which way. So there's my first shepherd's hook. It's not great. I don't like this little jog in it. I'm not going to worry about it because when we go do this in pen, you should totally be doing this in pencil right now. When we do this in pen, I can fix that. But there's my shepherd's hook, and I'll do the next one this way. And then I'm going to turn my paper because last time it didn't go well when I didn't. But the next one is going to go around here and around this way. So now I've made the corner here. And I'm going to do this across all 5 first tiles. So look at this one is going to run right from one tile to the next tile. This is where if you did the S curve and then put your hooks in, this is where that might be a lot easier than what I'm doing. So when you get to the part where you're going to cut across to the next tile, you can totally just put your next tile here and do your S curve. And then grab your next tile and just keep doing your wavy line like so. And then grab your next tile and just keep going. The only advice I would give you in no matter which method you use, right, is when you get to the end here, think about what kind of ending to your vine you want. Whoops. I was talking and not thinking. So I'm going to erase that and do it again so I can show you what I mean. I want another curl at the end. I want it to drop down a little farther. I want another hook on the end, right? So now we have this. If you do the shepherd's hook way that I do it, then I would just be going like this. Whoops. I would just be going like that. Again, I'm not going to worry about that. I would fix it when I'm moving on to other stuff. Here again, I would run into the next spot. So put my tiles together and then make sure that the line stays, you know, consistent across to the next tile. If you are not doing it the shepherd's hook way, then you can just put your swirls anywhere you want them. I don't like that. Wow, I'm getting a little lost in my own head. So please forgive me for erasing, and this is definitely why I like the shepherd's hook better. I'll show you what I'm doing and why this doesn't work for my brain. So if you have the same kind of issues I do, you'll know what the heck I'm doing. So when I just do a shepherd's hook, or my hand just goes in that kind of a number 6 sort of feel, right? But when I come onto a curvy line like this, I don't like how this joins up. I can't make the lines flow together the way they do if I just do them in separate pieces. It's really, really hard for me to make them flow the way I want. Okay, that one kind of did, but that's because I made a whole new shepherd's hook. Do you see that? Whatever. Whatever. I am a creature of habit, man. Oh, goodness sakes. I can't change the way I do things. Change is scary. You see what I've done here is I've gotten smaller and closer together. Totally a doable thing if that's what works for your corner too. I just did it because it worked for this corner. In fact, I'm going to carry it out and bring it down for one more because I just like the feel of that better. Anyway, that is an introduction to how to make swirly lines and why Cheryl's brain doesn't really always work the way she wants it to. I happen to know, and I will not call you out, that some of you can completely relate to that. That brain not working the way you want it to thing. Okay, so I've got a big fat mess here now. I'm not sure what the heck I'm doing. Oh, okay. Okay, this is why I had you not number your tiles, because I just mixed mine up and then they didn't fit together properly. What the heck is this one? I hope you're having a better time at your swirly lines than I am, because wow, I'm messing this up. Okay. If you learn by mistakes, I hope you're learning by all of mine, because I am supposed to be teaching some stuff. Oh, my. Okay, so I just need one more uppy shepherd's hook right about here. And it looks like it's going to cross that from tile to tile again. So I'm going to join those two up. turn this really sideways so I can see what I'm doing. Wow, I don't like that one either. Okay, I'll fix it when I fix it. All right, let's see what we got. Let's see where we're at. For the entirety of this project, I recommend that you do not put ink in until our large flower of the day is done, at least, or even better, until the following week. No, that's not right. I didn't mean to say that. Okay, never mind. I'll explain it in a minute. Please delete last transmission. You are not getting kicked out of class. You are getting a bad report, Patty. I'm sticking to that. Oh my. Okay. Way to go, Denny. Too funny. Too funny. I don't judge you. I'm just trying to help you be more successful, Patty. Okay, things have gone really weird today. I apologize. I think I'm being inappropriate. Patty, use whatever tiles work, or pieces of paper, or any old thing. That's the truth of it, isn't it? Okay, once you have your vine in place, you do not need tiles 2, 3, 4, 5 anymore. You at least have that line and the drop down at number 5. That's all we needed that for. And then we're going to concentrate on tile number 1. And the only thing we're putting in tile number 1 on our first day the F-bombs are rolling. I bet they are. So I think Patty just confessed, in case anybody here didn't know. She can be a bit of a potty mouth. She is our sailor friend. Okay, she's not a sailor, but you know. Yeah, Marguerite, this will end up being an accordion book, or just I'm going to show how to turn it into an accordion book, or a regular book, or a star-shaped thingy jobber. Any of that. So I am going to make my favorite version, right? So I like those little fat petals on my Brown-Eyed Susan. And when you do it in your pencil, think about layout. This is one thing that does hold true for all the tiles we're going to make, right? Don't worry about filling all of your space, because there are going to be stages to this, and there are some surprises. That's all I'm saying. But tonight's flower is the star of the show on the page. So with those two things in mind, that I do want to leave some white space, but I want a decent size to my flower, I'm going to kind of figure out where I want it. And I'm going to make 2 of them. You can make just 1. You can make 2. You can make, 73 if you want to make them tiny enough. That part doesn't matter. Do what you like, remembering to leave some white space. With that in mind, my upside down U for my first one is going to go right there. And then I want him to have kind of a shorter buddy. So I'm going to put a U space, or a U shape, over here. Then I'm going to start drawing my petals in. And I think this guy is out front. That one's going to be a little bit behind. So I'm going to put my front flower in first. And I'm going to draw some really fat petals because those are my favorite. And I'm just going to do the 5 because that is also my favorite. And I'm a lazy bum creature of habit. True story. And I'm going to turn my tile because I'm remembering to do so for a change. I'm jumping off at the point where I've decided the top of the flower ends and the side begins. I'm curving fat petals and I'm meeting in the middle of that leftover space between the first petal and this side. I don't like this at all. But again, remember, when you do stuff and it's not quite right with pencil, don't worry about it. When you get the pen in, it's going to work out just fine. And then, same thing over here. Jump off and finish the flower. There, I have enough pencil stuff in place to know that that's where my flower is going to be, and I'm happy with that. So then I'm going to go over to the big flower, and obviously they're going to overlap, right? Since we're going to do this with pen or liner pen or whatever you got, you could just completely draw in the giant petals because you're going to choose who's in front and you can do your skipping of the line when you put the pen in. If you want to practice skipping, which I sometimes do because I'm not very good at it, then go to your spot for making your petal. Pretend that you've put your pencil all the way down and you're making your petal. And only draw in the part that's actually going to show up. Same thing here. This petal would actually be up here. So the jump off spot would probably be behind this flower. So it would go, what? It would go like that. That's a really fat petal. I may have gotten a little carried away. All right, turn my tile. I'm gonna try upside down. I wonder if that would work better for me. I think it would. I'm going to try upside down. If this is, if you're not getting petals that are working for you, try it upside down. Go to your jump off spot and jump out and curve around to your finish spot. That worked much better for me. Huh. Oh, you know why? Because I don't think it would work as well on this side. Well, maybe it would. I'm going to try it. Just cause I'm unhappy with that one anyway. I know I told you don't erase, so don't copy me. I'm being bad. But I want to see if turning it completely upside down would work for me. It kind of does. Huh. Okay. So I'm going to do it again. I've got it upside down. I'm going to go to my jumping off spot and curve into there. I kind of like that. That was a good trick. I don't know if you noticed, people, but I did not leave myself very much room for stems at all. So I'm just going to go with it and draw in fat little stems or semi-fat little stems. And I'm going to go with some just funny leaves. I'm just going to go with some little circles. Why not? Why not? Once you have your flowers in place, it's time to pull out your pens tonight. Finally. I kind of wish I made my big flower taller. But remember, I said we want space, so I need to be happy with it. We really do want space, so I've got lots of open space in here. It'll all work out great in the end, I promise all of you. Well, hello, Kim. Favorite movie, Pulp Fiction. Really? Ooh. I just watched that recently. I do like butt pedals. I don't see a butt. I don't understand. I might have to watch my replay too. see where the butt comes in. Jeez. Okay. I am going to start with my pen. Once you get your vine in and your flowers in place, this is when you're going to decide, are you going to stick with black and white? Are you going to add color? Do you want outlines? I am going to be adding some color, and I'm going to be doing lots of different methods throughout this project, right? But I'm going to outline everything because I have a bit of a problem thinking that I have to outline everything. And even when I try not to, I still end up doing it. Understanding that you have a problem is the first step to fixing the problem. I do try every now and then to not outline everything I create, and then I fail. I try really hard not to ink all the edges in my journal stuff too, and I fail at that. I feel like this petal would be seen like just right there or something, but that's not right either. It just feels weird to me. Something didn't work out with one of the petals, and I'm not liking it. I need to stop over stressing the silly stuff. Because even when I know darn well it won't matter later, it still just bugs me. I'm going to have a smart aleck moment with one of our people here, and the person who I'm being a smart aleck to might even know that I'm being a smart aleck to them. So I would just like to say that these are fashioned after actual flowers, and so are all the others, but they are not actual flowers. They are a representation, an artistic representation of actual flowers. So there. I would like to know, and somebody will tell us, if the person who knows I'm talking to them is laughing right now because I'm being a smart aleck at them. And let's wait and see for just a minute and see if they're laughing, because they really should be. Unless I'm wrong and they are no longer here. That might be the case too. Oh my gosh, I did it wrong. Okay, I'm sorry. He was no longer here. That was pretty good though, wasn't it? Was that pretty good, Patty? Oh, hi, Near. Kiki, right? Kiki, I sent an answer to you about how do you do. Did you ever see it? I never heard back again. Okay. There's my stuff in place. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to make sure this is dry. You guys make sure it's dry. Oh. Did you answer back? I didn't see anything from you. Oh, okay. Okay, good. I thought that was hilarious. So yeah, it is somebody in Patty's house who I was being a smart aleck to, and apparently I remembered too late. That's a bummer, because that would have been seriously funny. He was making fun of our flowers. They are so flowers because we said so and we're artists. Hello? It was not an actual criticism. It's just a literal thinker, you know. These are not literal flowers. They're fanciful. Fanciful representations. Okay. Gosh, it looks better once you get rid of all the extra pencil, doesn't it? If you guys get to this point, wait till you see how much better it looks once you get all this erased. It's just lovely. Now, what I need to do is decide, how am I going to add color? What am I going to add? What do I want the middle of my flower to be? What embellishments do I want on my vine? Although I did say I was going to stay simple with mine, didn't I? I think I'm going to stick to that. So, for my vine, I think I'm going to put in brown liner for the little stem kind of bits that fly off. And, well, I mean, leaves are green. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I am also a linear thinker, which is weird for an art person, but it's true. It's very true. So I think I'm going to put... okay, wait. I'm going to close this one, because what I'm going to do for my vine is I'm going to put in some fatter line bits. So that the hooks going off of my vine look like a smaller offshoot. And I'm going to curve and fatten some joining spots. So like right there, a joining spot, I've thickened and curved a little bit, and I think I'm going to go around the whole thing and do that. Like so. I just like softer lines and curvier bits. So anywhere I feel like there's like something jarring to my eyes, I usually curve that bit. That actually goes for the inside of my teardrops too, which I love the bottoms of these teardrops, but I will often go in and curve that line as well. So I'm going to do that. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now I said my little branches off of this thing are going to be in brown, and all I did for my branches was some little curves with wisping off. I need a heavier brown than that. That one is going to look ridiculous. If you don't have different pen sizes, don't you worry about it. Your design's going to work out just fine for you, because you are not a linear thinker like I am. You are a free-flowing artist. Oh my God, I swear I'm overtired. What a weirdo. Okay, there's what I'm going to do for my little branches coming off of the vine. I like everything in odd numbers. I'm sure you've heard other people say that too, and it's true when I'm drawing as much as when I'm collaging. So I'm going to do 3 because of the power of 3, but then I'm going to do an extra one somewhere for a leaf. So in a minute, when I pull out the green one, that's probably going to be the little leaf. One, 2, 3. 3, 3, and where does my leaf go? Does my leaf go on the hook every time? Maybe. Huh. Okay, so then 1, 2, oh, that's bad. Turn your tile, not your hand, girl. 3. Leaf. Ooh, that one's different. Okay, good. Good. I didn't let myself get too stuck in a rut. 1, 2, 3, and a leaf. And maybe this one just has a leaf down there. I don't know, something like that. That's how I'm doing my vine. Let's get my leaf pen, and I kind of decided on the flat top heart shape. I did mention that I do that leaf shape entirely too often. It's true. But for this, I'm doing it anyway. Let some run right off the page. I hope I put lines close enough together that some of these just run into each other, because I'm very bad at letting my stuff run together. I don't even really think about it, and I'll find myself changing the shape or size of something to make it not run into each other, and that's just, it's just ridiculous. Here's an opportunity for me to grow right here. Let's see. No, I did it again. Okay, there, I did it a little bit. There we go. I kind of tucked that leaf behind. I don't know. I think this one might be just a little fatness right there where they overlap. This one can go right behind the big flower. Look, I'm growing. I did it a few times. Good girl. I know that's a little silly for me to say it like that. Call myself a good girl? Okay, whatever. But I swear that kind of stuff is really hard for me to do. I just want to pull it out a little bit and make it a whole leaf. But it looks better when you do this. Okay. Now, my brown-eyed Susan is going to have a brown eye. So, I'm going to go ahead and do the little fuzzy bit at the bottom, and I'm going to have a few come out the side. I'll do that on both of them. This one apparently needs a haircut. It's young and wild and free and doesn't care. And then the hash mark situation. And then the partial hash mark situation, which I don't know. I don't know if I love this, but it's what I do. So here we go. Oh, you know what? There we go. I like it better if I curve it, because then it makes the center of my flower look rounder. Okay, like so. Yep, I like that. I'm happy with that. Whoops. Fiona is getting out of control here. I'll have to fix that. Okay, there we go. I think I'm going to put in my stems, and then I'm just going to color in the stem, and then I think I'm going to figure out what color I want to add to my flower. And then I think I'll show you how I'll do my shading in case you want to do that. And if you're doing this with just pencil and ink, you would do your shading with your pencil. Just the graphite from your pencil is perfectly fine. And yeah, I think I'll just do that. I will do that. Oh, it looks like I'm filling in my little leaves. I wasn't gonna, and then it just happened. So I want to pick a color. I'm not really sure how I want to do this. Here, while I'm thinking about it, straight hashes do flatten. That is important to remember. You're giving yourself detention? That must be really bad. All right. I don't know how I want to do my flowers at all. So you know what? I'm just going to put some lines in my flowers like so, instead of coloring them in. I hope that I'm happy with that later. This has potential to drive me crazy, and then I won't like it. Again, I'll have to get over it. All right, like so, I think. And now I will show you what I'm going to do as far as shading for this works. So I'm going to pull out a blending stump. Can you tell how much I still hate that? I'm going to pull out a small piece of sandpaper, and I'm going to clean off the end of this thing. Not that it matters that much. The black would show up more than any colors that are on there, but I kind of want to start with a clean slate because I usually get way too much graphite on my blending stump, and then I end up coloring instead of shading. So, one thing to remember is that if you don't have one of these, you don't need them. You can use your hand or a Q-tip or a makeup applicator, or, you know, any sort of soft thing will move graphite around. So if you're only doing this with pen and pencil, or if you're using the charcoals for shading, it's fine. You don't need this tortillon. Although I did find a 6-pack of these for $2 today on Amazon. I didn't buy it, but since I was looking at other things, it just popped up and I thought, wow, I did mention this was a cheap hobby. It really is. Okay, so first my vine, I will put a small amount of graphite wherever I was capable of overlapping some leaves. So I'm noticing this very first leaf right here kind of joins with the shepherd's hook thingy. And I am going to pretend that I meant to do this all along. I'm just going to make that curve a little fatter so that it looks like the leaf tucks behind. There. So when you're shading, put the graphite or the charcoal on the underneath item. So in this case, my shepherd's hook teardrop end is on top of the leaf. The leaf is underneath. So I'm putting the graphite on the underneath guy. Just one little line where they overlap on the underneath. These two leaves, this leaf is underneath. So the graphite goes here. That might sound, the way I'm saying it might sound ridiculous to you guys, but I cannot tell you how long it took to make it stick in my brain where you put the shading material. It took a very long time for me to get it to stick. Okay, that was way more than I wanted to do, but I wanted to make it perfectly clear for myself again which one was the top leaf and which one was tucked behind. So there we go. This case, the branch is over the leaf, so the leaf is underneath. These two just have a tiny spot where they overlap. This one is underneath the flower. That's about it. I'm going to move on to the flower now, so I'm just going to put a bunch of graphite in place and worry about shading later, but the same goes for the petals. So I've created my flowers so that the center petal is on top of all the other petals, and then it cascades around the flower. So this flower is on top, this one tucks underneath, the shading material goes on the underneath line, right there. This petal then lifts up and this one tucks underneath this one. So the shading material goes on the underneath flower. Here is my petal on top. This one tucks underneath. So my graphite goes right here on the underneath. And again, and this is the underneath side over here, and it goes underneath twice because it's also underneath this flower. It goes underneath right here, that very last petal, and this cone is over the flower behind it. So everywhere they overlap is going to get graphite on the underneath guy. The stem is overlapped by the petals on both flowers, and this little leaf is overlapped by this petal right there. So I'm going to put some graphite on those edges too, and now I'm going to put my pencil down and go through and blend all of those lines that I just made. I'll go back to right where I started, this one right here. When you're doing your blending, soften your line by going over it with whatever you're using to blend, and then pull the color out, the shading out a little bit. Easy as that. Second one I did, soften that line that you put down and then pull it out into that element. You're pulling it out into whatever the underneath piece is. These two, the top leaf, the underneath leaf. Soften the graphite or charcoal and pull it out into the underneath element. Like that. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And I'm pulling it right off the board, aren't I? And I should get closer. You know what? You guys should yell at me once in a while if you need me to change something. If you ever notice that that it's not clearly visible, absolutely tell me. Make an adjustment, lady. Okay, smooth out your line. Pull it out into the flower just a little bit. Smooth out that line. Pull it into the flower. And now I have way too much graphite on here. Look at, I'm literally coloring this leaf of the flower, this petal. That's ridiculous. That is not what you want to do. Charcoal is also erasable, by the way. So if you're using charcoal and you find you have overdone it, like I do, it's erasable. Go for it. Oh. There we go. Let's start again. So smooth out the line, pull it out into the flower. Smooth out the line. There we go. That's better. Did I not do the small flower? I thought I did. I did this flower, didn't I? Did I only do one side? I don't know. But there wasn't much, if anything, there. Oh, don't forget the little tiny bits if you put some in your stem. That's just a matter of just pull it down the stem a little bit. I'm just taking some of the graphite that's already on what I'm using to blend and putting it around the outside. I think I'm going to add more to this large one. Just the outside edge will help it look curvy. All right. I do believe I'm ending there for the night. I'm going to see what you guys are talking about. Please, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, add them now and I will address them before we end for today. But I think I'm leaving mine right there for the night. I think. I will ponder for a minute. Yeah, you can totally roll up some paper to make stumps. That's all this is. Marguerite is completely right. That's all this is a piece of paper rolled up tightly. Not fancy. Oh, you drew all your flowers sideways. Yep, I saw that. You are not late, Kiki. You are just fine. These are liner pens. So these are a specific kind of pen, like micron. If you know what micron pens are, this is the same thing. So it doesn't bleed, it won't erase, it's not water reactive. So it is a permanent marker that doesn't bleed and won't move once you get it put down. This is a brand called Bianyo, and it's Micron is made by Sakura. They're both really good. These are not necessary though, but if you use, say, a ballpoint pen, Just make sure that you give a little extra drying time before you do shading and erasing. But if you want these, that's what they are. If you want some, it's not very impressive so far. I must say that I'm not particularly happy with my garden. If you are feeling that too, don't worry. I promise there is so much more to come. This is just the basis. This is the start. This is the start of our journey. Oh. Wait a minute, Patty, it would be bad. What would be bad? Interesting to say the least. Okay, I'm looking forward to seeing that. You people who are following along, if you have Facebook, you can post these on Darcy's Facebook group. She said so. So there's that available. If you have a YouTube channel, and you decide to talk about your doodle work on your YouTube channel, make sure you let us know, so that we can come take a peek at what you're doing. If you have your own Facebook and you want us to come take a peek at your doodles, let us know that way. But if you share your work, I would love to see what y'all are coming up with. You guys always, I mean, seriously, even though those of you who are saying you're frustrated or they're funny looking or whatever, you guys always do better than I do. I'm not sure why I'm the teacher, but you know, here I am. I'm the teacher and you guys are surpass me every time. Leslie, that was smart. You're good. You're good. See? So, I'll tell you what she did that I'm saying is so good, right? She started typing early so that she could get it all in. Because sometimes she doesn't get to say goodnight to us because we're too fast for her. Totally not making fun. Totally not. I understand the battle with the typing. Oh, it can be a bear. So what is not today? What are we saying no to? Anybody who is not following along with us today, and you do this later, know that there's lots more. And it can be a book if you want it to be, and it doesn't have to be a book. It doesn't have to be on these tiles. None of that is necessary. No questions, no comments. We're all good. Gosh darn it, ladies. We did great. All right. I'm excited for next week too, because I have a version of it right in front of my little face over there about my first 5 tiles. It's right there, and I'm not going to show it to you, but it's really cute. Trust me. Trust the process. We're going to get there. Woo-hoo. Good night, everybody. I'm going to skedaddle too. We're done for the day. Good job, everybody. Share your stuff. Send me a picture. Absolutely, Lisa. Absolutely. Kim, don't worry. I mean, if you make it on time, awesome. But I'm just glad you're all here. I'm just glad you're all here. This is turning out to be a really fun thing. Happy to be here, right? All right. Good night.